Well, hi there, everybody. I hope this message finds you safe and healthy and well today as we continue to navigate through this COVID-19 situation. If I've not had the chance to meet you yet, my name is Rob Wheeler, and I am the Minister of Connection and Care here at Cookeville First United Methodist Church. We just wanted to spend a few moments today talking to you about some of the adjustments that we're making as we reopen for worship, for public worship, on June the 21st here in our sanctuaries. There are some changes that are being made. We want to spend a few moments telling you about those so that you'll know what to expect. But as we gather back together again, we are so excited. These pews behind me have been too empty for too long, and the opportunity to gather back together is such a blessing, and we hope to see you there. But I want you to know that if you're not quite ready to come back to church, if you still have some concerns about gathering in larger groups, that is okay. We have shown over these past few months and weeks that we've been able to maintain connection as a church, and we will continue to offer different ways to do that. Our worship time will be available on our YouTube channel each Sunday, and also we will be available via radio broadcast on 94.1 FM each Sunday at 11 a.m. So there's lots of ways to connect, lots of ways to continue worshiping with us, and we hope that you will do that either in person or virtually, however it might work best for you. So for these next few moments, I would thank you for your attention as we talk about these changes and requests and requirements that are being made as we gather together again. Well, here we are now in the entrance area to the sanctuary as you make your way through the doors and into the narthex. Things do look a little bit differently here, and there are some requirements involved. First things first, for the next few weeks, masks will be required for worship. That's here in the sanctuary and in Wesley Chapel. I know that could be frustrating, but we do feel like that's the right choice to make, at least for the near future. Second, we will have hand sanitizer available, and we will ask that you use that before you make your way into the sanctuary, just so that we are as clean as we can be before we get started. Next, instead of walking from the entrance and directly into the narthex, you'll be ushered not through the double doors, but through the hallway in front of the elevator so that we can maintain the flow of people traffic into the narthex. You'll see as we walk into the sanctuary, you will be ushered in one of two doors, either on the left side or the right side as worship begins, and that will be explained a little bit later. So, masks are required, hand sanitizer will be available, and you'll be ushered through a bit of a different space than we normally do. But we do hope that it's a way that we can maintain our distance and stay as healthy as possible, and we do appreciate your understanding and your grace. Well, now we're back in our sanctuary, and as you arrive in here with your masks on and your hands clean, I want to make you aware of what you'll find. The first thing you'll see is that the middle portion of each pew will be blocked off from the front to the back, and every other pew will be blocked as well so that we can maintain our social distancing. Everything in the pews will be removed, so all the pens and envelopes and pads and hymnals will be gone so that we don't pass along anything we don't need to pass along. We won't be handing out or passing any offering plates, but we'll set up giving stations throughout the church so you can place your gifts there if you feel so led to do that, and we'll make sure we get them to the proper place. I don't like to say this because this is such an important part of our worship service, but we will be halting our congregational singing for the next few weeks, but we will be sharing in special music from our talented musicians throughout our worship service, so we know that you will enjoy that. Our worship services in here will last from between 40 to 45 minutes, so things will be shortened up a bit, so you may very well appreciate that, but that's the reality of what we'll be doing here on Sunday mornings. So now we step down to Wesley Chapel to take a look at what to expect in that worship space. Okay, so here we are now in our Wesley Chapel. If you've not had a chance to be a part of any sort of worship experience here in Wesley Chapel, it's a beautiful, wonderful worship space, and we are so fortunate to have it on our church campus. So as we've told you, we're offering 3 services just so we can spread out our congregation. And this is a great place to be. And if you've not had a chance to worship here, perhaps now's a great time to give that a chance. A couple of notes about what to expect here as well. Masks are also required in Wesley Chapel. Hand sanitizer will be available. Any sort of passing of the peace will be hands-free. And also, we will encourage you to maintain your social distancing. It's the same worship service that will be available in the sanctuary, but you may or may not see your pastors lose their robes, so it might have a little bit of a different feel. Again, whichever worship service you'd like to be a part of, whether the two in the sanctuary at 8:30 or 10:55, or here in Wesley Chapel at 9:45, we hope to see you, and we hope that you'll understand why we are making these requirements and these requests as we continue to work through this COVID-19 situation. Well, now you know everything that you need to know. At least we hope so. If anything changes, if anything is added, or we need to take something away, or even if a date changes, we will be sure to let you know as soon as we possibly can when that decision is made. But let me say a couple things first, reiterate a couple things first. Just to remind you, we'll have 3 services starting on the 21st, 8:30 and 10:55 here in our sanctuary, and then 9:45 in Wesley Chapel. And in both places and all 3 services, a couple of things are required. First, we do require you to wear a mask for our worship services for the time being. Second, we'll ask you to sanitize your hands with the hand sanitizer stations that have been custom made for our use over these past few weeks. That will be available. And third, that you space yourself out in the worship spaces. That will be easier to do. Well, it won't be easier to do, but that will be easier to see in the sanctuary. But Wesley Chapel is made in such a way that you can space yourself out pretty easily too. Please know that throughout this whole time, we have been praying for your health and your well-being. We have missed you, but we are so blessed that we've been able to stay connected in the ways that we have, whether it's through a radio broadcast or a YouTube channel or a Zoom class or a meeting in a park. We are so grateful to all of you who have worked so hard to connect with your church family. Let me say one more thing. Our community has been through so much since 2020 started. But our church has continued to do the work of the church even in times like this. Thank you. And a reminder that we can be the church even if we're not together. So if you don't feel comfortable coming quite yet, please take your time. We can still be connected. We can still do the work of the church. You are still loved and you will be missed, but we will still hold you in our prayers, and you are still a part of this wonderful church family. If there's anything you ever need, please call our church office. We'll be happy to help. And if there's anything that your pastors can do for you, know that we are ready to help, to be there for you as we can. Be blessed. May the grace of God be with you, and we hope to see you here at church soon.